Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the very not exclusive Star Wars news. Now today I've got some really interesting news surrounding the Obi Wan Kenobi show and two possible characters that could be appearing during the show, and I'm really excited to share this news with you guys, and I think it's really interesting. So both of these casting slash potential characters come from the same source. They come from a website called CineLinks. I actually saw this a couple days ago, however I waited on it just to see the validity of these claims, and since then a lot of articles have been written by many other websites and quite trusting sources, so we can hopefully assume that this is actually real and it's not just a false claim. There's clearly some backing behind it, plus it does make sense, it is logical. A lot of these characters I can definitely see being in the show, and I'll also talk about how I think these characters could be used within the show and why I'm very excited for both of them. So yeah, although this is always all speculatory, we can assume quite confidently. So the first character we could be seeing is Princess Leia, a young Princess Leia. So CineLinks reported that a young Princess Leia has been cast and Vivian Lyra Blair has been casted. She's the actress who played in Bird Box, but when we talk about this, we're talking about a very young Princess Leia. Obviously the actress is only 8 years old. Now I think this is really interesting, and what makes this even more interesting is the fact that she's been reported to have a very large role in the show. So in theory, again, if all this holds, we're not just talking about a 10-second cameo where we see her stood in front of the sun or anything. Apparently she will have quite a crucial role in the show and will be seen quite a lot throughout the show. It's not just a 10-second cameo like in the end of Rogue One or anything. She will have an actual role within the show, which I think makes a lot of sense. It's an Obi Wan Kenobi show. Luke Skywalker is going to have a massive role in it, presumably. The whole show would be presumably about Obi Wan Kenobi looking after and looking over Luke Skywalker during this time, and I feel like you'd have to have some Princess Leia appearances. Obviously they're not going to meet, it's not like we're going to see them all in the same frame. We don't need Princess Leia because she's going to meet them and she's crucial to that storyline, but I feel like it's also really needed for us to see what's happening with her and Bail Organa during this point in the galaxy during this time. So how I'd like to see this used, and how I think it'd be really cool for them to implement her character, is just a simple back and forth. So we see some of Obi Wan Kenobi with Luke, and then every now and then, as a bit of a side story if you will, we see Leia as a child with Bail Organa and her family, and I think this would be a really nice contrast, and I think this would be a really cool way they could use it, having two very different stories, having the lifestyle of Luke as a child with Obi Wan Kenobi, and the lifestyle as a princess, as a senator, with Leia and her family in the city and on Alderaan. And I think this would be really interesting, and I think they could use this to make a really incredible second story and kind of just a bit of a different atmosphere away from the main storyline of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker. So that's the first character, a young Princess Leia who will presumably, as reported, have quite a large role in the show. And the second character, which I think is, can you believe it, I think is even more interesting, if not more exciting than a young Princess Leia, is Kang, who I reported earlier a couple months ago. He was on the original casting list, so we know for sure, it is confirmed that Kang of Fast and Furious, I think he's a great actor. I'm really happy he's in it in the first place. So it is confirmed that he's going to be in it. However, there is a rumour, a potential leak, about who he will be playing, and it is really cool who he could potentially be playing in the show. So it's been reported that Kang could potentially be playing the fifth brother, an Inquisitor, who we have seen on Rebels before. I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with the character, the fifth brother, an Inquisitor, and I think this is so cool. This is, honestly, these two characters are amazing. I really hope we get them both. So this is really cool. Obviously I cannot wait. Hopefully this is true, hopefully this actually happens. Obviously, in terms of how an Inquisitor could be used, I think a lot of people were already speculating that there were going to be Inquisitors in the show. It was already rumoured that Obi Wan Kenobi would have a duel with an Inquisitor, and it obviously makes a lot of sense. I feel like the Inquisitors would be a very crucial part of this show and one of the main real threats to Obi Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker during this time, because as we know, the Inquisitors were the main group that was set out to hunt down all the remaining and surviving Jedi, so this would be Obi Wan Kenobi's real main threat, other than obviously Vader. And I think it'd be incredible to see an Inquisitor in live action. I honestly cannot wait. I've seen them in Rebels, I loved them. I think it'd be really cool to see an Inquisitor in live action, and would be another really cool way to bridge this gap between episode 3 and 4 and kind of bridge this time period. And I think it'd be a really cool enemy for Obi-Wan Kenobi to encounter during his times looking over Luke. And a very plausible one, because obviously when dealing with this time period, it's quite difficult to bring in characters and make it plausible. So I think the Inquisitors are a really good way to do that, just like they did with Rebels. So that's the news for today. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Obviously today's video has been very much surrounding the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and very much in casing of that. So the next news video probably won't be about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but this show is just something I'm really excited about, so I especially like talking about it and looking into it. But obviously there's only so much news that can come out about this show, especially news that is really interesting and significant. And just a bit of a side note, my summer break starts in 2 days, so I'll have 6 weeks. I'm hoping to get out tons of content, really push out lots of good, great content for you guys to enjoy, and yeah, get out lots of what ifs, cover lots of news, because I'll have way more time on my hands. And even after my summer break, I should have a lot more time on my hands next year, so I'm hoping to get lots of content, and there's lots of cool videos to come basically, so yeah. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for all my future videos. Do lots of news videos, lots of theory videos, lots of fan fiction and what ifs. So make sure to stay tuned for all that. Got lots of interesting things to come, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Show me the one whose safety deems such destruction.